Hi everybody, welcome to my channel for new battle report. This time the first battle report for the Ocho. Game number 1, we are facing QTL, the team from Italy. Pleasure to face them since I've attended several times the Milano tournament, so really cool to face these guys. And I was paired against PUMBAGOR, the Warrior of the Dark God player. My list is the same as I explained you in the previous video, so you can play pause or just check out this old battle report to see when I explain a little bit what is in the list, and then the list of my opponent with the details. Basically, he's featuring the Exalted Herald, which is always a great piece for magical support, and as well a good combat unit. The Doomstar with the Doomlord full option within a unit of 6 Forsworn. Master Alchemy with Ranger's boots to be a bit faster and be able to join the Fallen unit and be quite fast. 15 Warrior of Greed with the Wasteland Torch. 8 Warhounds, 2x3 Feldrak with Paired Weapon Musician, and the Elmo with 2 Ominous Gateway. So basically not a lot of things. You have a block of Warrior, the Doomstar, 2 small unit of Feldraks, and the Helmo who is able to teleport all these units through gateways at different places of the board. We are playing Encircle and Spoil of War. For spell, I decided to go with Quicksilver Lash and Molten Copper, who are really good against the Doomstar, since he has a 2-up armor save and 1-up armor save on the Doomlord and a regen. So really good spell against this unit. Then the Glory of Gold and the -1 armor to be able to face the Doomstar in combat as well if needed. And then for Occultism, I chose the Soft Comet, the hereditary spell of course, and number 2, which is the Hand of Glory, the Ward Save 5-up. Regarding the Overlord, I decided to go with something quite versatile. The Eros Art to be able to face the Feldark, because they have this nasty unburnt rule, which is not so good if I decide to go with Onyx Core, for example, because I have to reroll to wound the successful to wound roll, which would be not so good for me. And since the Bull already has Flaming Attack, I prefer to go with Eros Art on top with the Rider. Regarding my opponent, he decided to take the Silver Spike, Quicksilver Lash to threat a little bit my tank, the Armor Save boost and debuff, the Mark for Doom, Wrath of God and Smite the Unbeliever, but no Gravecall. Regarding matchup, my estimation of the matchup was rather positive, and I guess because the main combat threat of my opponent is Doomstar, and against Doomstar I have a lot of answers, because I have a lot of flaming shooting, I have possibilities to make reroll to wound with flaming attack, with the slingshot and vassal shots. I have the Alchemy, which is also really good against this unit, so I have a lot of tools to deal with this main combat threat. The Overlord and the Engine are a good tool to possibly threat the Feldrak units. I have to be still a bit careful with the Overlord, since he has Hatred against flyers. I have to be a bit careful what I do and how I engage combat, but still I have good possibility to threat him. And of course, I think if he can, he will probably drop to start. But I think for me, the main threat in this matchup is him going on token and then using the gateway to go in a safe zone of the board and just avoid me during the whole game, because I don't have a lot of mobility. It would be really hard for me to get any points from him, and the scenario would be impossible to get as well. Because just as a reminder, if it takes a token, then moves into a gateway and teleport in a safe zone, then he has to release the token, but within 3 inches of the unit which comes out of the gateway. Meaning if he's in safe zone, he don't care, because then he can go back on the token on the next turn, or just put it in another unit and take it next turn. So it's not a problem for him. So that's the thing which I need to be really careful about. Deployment, my opponent, I was able to choose the side. I took the big center, my opponent had the big flank, and decided to drop everything to start the game. He put 2 units of Feldrak on the flank, that was expected, to go as fast as possible on the token, and then in the middle he decided to put Helmo on the right, Exalted Herald, the Mage within the Fallen unit, the Warrior block, the Doomstar in the middle, and the Hellhound. So I think that was kind of expected, Doomstar in the middle, Feldrak on both flank, and then decided to put the Warrior here. Here you can see as well both gateways that he was able to put after deployment. And yeah, I decided not to come too fast forwards to avoid me retreating the right flank. That was a bit his idea. So my idea was the following for the counter deployment. First of all, to block this ominous gateway, to give him no room whatsoever to be able to teleport from this position to here, especially with the Doomstar, because I would be threatened on the left flank, which I don't like. And then I decided to make a pair with two threats. So here on the left, Disciples of Ugar with the tank, and here on the center token, the Bastion unit with the Bull, but then I will not be able to play on the whole board because there's so much mobility. I have to be focused on one part of the board, so the left part of the Impassable. And the idea was to put here the Bull in the middle and here the tank to the left. Basically, if he decides to come forward on the token, I can easily charge directly on him. And here I made sure that with the Hellhound it's not possible to chaff the tank with 22. So that was a little bit the early concern, to try to avoid him going turn 1 on the token, then using a gateway to teleport in a safe zone. That was the main focus. And here on my part, here you see the bunker with Mage and BSB, the Orc Slave, the War Machines, and so on. His turn 1. Stays within the rune on the left side, moves forward behind the wall on the right side, moves the Helmo forward to threat me to put token on my right flank, and moves carefully forward with both the Doomstar and the Warrior unit, with the Mage within the unit, and a ton of combo charge if I decide any kind of long double 6 charge onto the Warrior. In Magic, I tries to put the Silver Spike on my Overlord, but thanks to Magical Resistance 2, it fails, and then he tries the Wrath of God, but I'm able to dispel it. My turn 1, I move behind the Impassable. Of course, he put a gateway on my right flank, and I decide a bit to ignore this gateway. The reasoning is quite simple. If he moves to this gateway, I should be able to turn around the Bastion, turn around my Mage, and then to throw a lot of missiles. So I'm not so worried about this position, and I guess my main concern was to still focus myself on these 2 tokens to be able to threat them. So here, same process as before. Basically, if he comes out, I would be able to charge with these 2 units. If he comes onto the token, I would be able to charge with the tank. And here on the right side, I would be able to charge with the Bull. I found a good spot with the Bull, out of arc of all units, so it's not possible for him to charge me, which is really good. And then the Bull is able to threat the center of the board. And here I just move forward a little bit the Bastion to be able to shoot a bit, but I'm still quite far away. And I decided to charge the Orc, who have paired weapon and battle focus, thanks to the leadership check that I passed, and I was able to give battle focus on shooting for the Bastion unit. That was a bit the idea. And I move also forward the Titan Mortar to be able to shoot at the Doomstar directly. The idea is to try to kill as soon as possible 2 model, then I should be able to target the General Doomlord, which is worth quite a lot of points, so that could be really nice for me if I'm able to kill him with range damage. In Magic, I'm able to cast the first Molten Copper onto the Doomstar and do 3 wounds. Then I try a Quicksilver Lash, dispelled by my opponent. With Catapult, one of, I think this one, a misfire, I cannot shoot 2 turns, and the other one was able to cause 2 wounds to the Doomstar, which is not bad. And then with the Bastion, I was able to kill 3 warriors, but I lost 9 slaves on the process, rolling 9-1 to hit. And close combat, still with 11 slaves, I was able to one-shot the dogs and reform. I think it was quite surprising for him to chaff me already. I think he wanted to avoid me going directly onto the token, but since he has a lot of countercharge possibilities and almost intact Doomstar, I didn't really fancy him charging with Exalted Herald plus Doomstar onto the Bastion. I don't know. I think it was still a bit early for him to chaff me, but yeah, I was happy to get this chaff. His turn 2. He moves onto the token on the right flank since I'm not looking at him, and he used the portal to teleport on the right side with the Doomstar. Moves a bit forward, just move the Mage back onto his bunker and move a bit back the Elmo and moves around with the Exalted Herald. In the magic, he tried to put Mark for Doom on my Overlord. I dispel it, and then was able to cast the Wrath of God. I had the choice to make. My Overlord is in a nice spot. He should be able to do some interesting things, so I need him alive. I couldn't allow Mark for Doom at this stage of the game. My turn 2. I'm able to find a spot between Feldark, Elder, and to be out of charge range of anybody, which is really great to trade the Elmo, trade the Warrior. So really happy to get this offensive position. I turn around the Bastion to shoot at the Doomstar. I moved the Bolter out of arc of the Doomstar. Here I think he made a small mistake. He should have been able to see me and to not allow me to move out of arc and win one turn. And here you see the Wrath of God. Regarding the remaining Titan Mortar who can shoot, the only way I could have a line of sight on the Doomstar was to move 9 and then turn around. So not an optimal position regarding the placement of the Wrath of God, but still it was a good option to shoot at the Doomstar, so I like it. And of course here I move my mage to be able to throw some missiles at the Doomstar. I'm really expecting to cause a couple of wounds more. And here I'm still securing this ominous gateway to not allow him to pop on my left flank, and still threatening the Feldark Elder, Feldark, going for this token. That's a little bit the idea. And yeah, that's it. Magic. Oh, of course, that was a bit unfortunate, but my slave missed 9 rerollable, so they are shaken and they cannot give battle focus to shooting for the Bastion unit, which is a bit unfortunate because I really would have liked having battle focus on shooting, but yeah, that's it. So, use the Binding Scroll on Molten Copper, then I'm able to roll Quicksilver Lash and cause 2 wounds to the Doomstar. Then I'm trying to cast -1 armor save to have a better chance if he's come into combat, but he dispels it. But I'm able to cast a Ward Save 5-up onto the Bastion. And then the Wrath of God doesn't come down. With shooting I'm able to cause a single wound onto the Doomstar, and that's it for my turn. His turn 3. Turns around with Exalted Herald and Feldark to be able to react and propose me a counter charge if I decided to go either to the Warrior or to the Helmo. I didn't see that really coming. He used the teleport to move here and get onto the token. With 3 inch, he was able to be onto the token, so yeah, could have been better for me, but I was still... it was needed for me to look at the Doomstar in the front. Maybe I should have placed the tank differently to threat him in the middle on this turn 2, because yeah, and move maybe forward a little bit the Lugar and move this unit a bit behind to block the entrance on the back of my lines, but then allow the Lugar to threat the token and use the tank to start threatening the middle. So I think that was not so smart from my part. So he's able to get onto the token, and here the mage unit uses this portal to get out on this gateway and threat the bull with a Silver Spike. A magic. I use Binding Scroll on Mark for Doom because now my bull is really key to my plan to try to charge the Helmo. I need a 5 on 3 dice, should be feasible. And then he tries Silver Spike, I'm able to dispel it. He put -1 armor save onto the bull. And then the Wrath of God comes down, kills the Titan Mortar, unfortunately. Kills 1 Vassal Cavalry, kills 2 life points of the Feldark, and I guess a couple of guys in the Bastion unit and slaves, and that's it. My turn 3. Get in with the bull, so I go as far as possible. This leaves him with 11 on 3 dice to charge me, 11 on 3 dice to charge me. I'm really hoping him either to be dead or to fail his steadfast check. We'll see. I move forward with the Bastion. I need to start threatening this unit, so I will try to shoot at them. And I turn around the tank, but here, I don't know why I didn't move that well. I was a bit afraid of him going onto this token, but I should be quite confident about my bull killing the Helmo and therefore move a bit fast forward with the tank and just possibly leave behind the Lugar unit to be able to manage if a unit decide to come out here. But I guess I should have been able to march 10 with the tank to retreat the Feldark unit in the center and give me more chances to get this token. So I think that was a mistake. And here, basically on the last part, I let my bolt thrower. At the moment, it's chaffing him going onto the bastion unit, so quite happy about that. And I let my mage here to try to cast some blast on the Doomstar. And yeah, just move back my cavalry unit, light cav, to try to give him flammable, but still to be out of irresistible charge. And I put back the remaining Titan mortar to shoot at him, and here I still have a second bolt thrower to shoot at him. So quite a lot of possibilities with shooting and magic to threat the Doomstar. Magic, I'm trying a Molten Copper on the Doomstar, dispelled, then I'm able to cast Quicksilver Lash to 1 wound on the Doomlord, 1 wound onto the unit, and then I'm able to cast -1 armor save, but that was not so smart, I guess, because -1 armor save, he will not go into any combat, we are still in turn 4. That was not so smart, I guess, because then it's less effective for me to wounding him with the alchemy. So I guess I should have done something different, or to cast -1 armor save onto the Feldrach, or do something a bit different, because that was not so smart. And yes, a Titan Mortar, I shot onto the Doomlord, but I rolled a 1 to wound. I was able to cause 4 wounds to the Feldrach in the center with the Bastion unit, with a Battle Focus, and I guess reroll to wound? No, not reroll to wound, just Battle Focus, but yeah, 4 wounds, it was good. And his close combat, I was able to cause 3 wounds to him. He failed the Stubborn 5, Steadfast check 5, and I overrun to be out of charge range of both these 2 units. So quite happy, because there is no portal anymore. This caused a couple of wounds onto the Feldar, a couple of wounds onto these 2 units, so not bad. He's turn 4. He moves away, so he was able to pass the successive 2 leadership check with the Feldar unit on a 9. And then he decided to move 8 in front, but he wasn't too careful, since he cannot charge past this Feldar unit if it's alive. Yeah, he moved 8 as far away as possible. Still, I would be quite a bit far away with the Bastion unit, and the problem is then I would get counter-charge possibly by him in the flank, and since there are greeds, they are still a bit scary for me in combat, so I need to be careful. And here with the remaining runes onto the Doomstar, I decided to charge my bolt thrower and overrun off the board. That was his idea. I made sure that it was not possible for him to overrun onto the Bastion as well. And yeah, he moved forward with the Feldrach to try to threaten the flank of the Bastion. And I guess that's it. Magic. I tried Mark for Doom onto the Overlord, but failed thanks to the Magical Resistance 2. Then tries Silver Spike. I'm able to dispel it. And he put +2 armor save onto the Feldar unit to try to make them survive to my shooting of the Bastion. Close combat is able to kill me and overrun off the table. My turn 4. I put the bull back onto the table, decided not to charge, but just to march forward and shoot everything at the Feldrach. I was not too optimal with my positioning, because it will not be possible for my mage to cast blasts onto the Feldrach. The problem was, this Feldrach unit with 19 was threatening me, and it was, if I remember correctly, not possible to have a line of sight, since this unit is gigantic, to have a line of sight to blast the Feldrach without taking risk. So that was a bit problematic for me, but I will try to cast some spell, some damage onto the warrior unit, and this time decide to move forward 10 with the tank to threaten a bit these units. And I marched vassals onto the token to get this token. So basically, as you can see, it will be very hard for me to get this token, but I could still try to get this one. If I'm successful with shooting, I could possibly get this one. Problem is, he has a 2-up armor save. I have AP1, so he has 3-up against my shooting, so this will be hard. I have Battle Focus, reroll the 1 to hit. Because of short range, hitting on 4+, so I could do some damage, but still it will be not so easy to kill him. Maybe, just looking at it, I don't think I could have had a better position. I just checking if I march a bit forward with the Bastion, but the idea was as well, if I kill him, to give a front to the Exalted Herald, not to get the Exalted Herald in the flank. That was a bit the idea. But maybe I should have marched a bit more straightforward to be able to get line of sight with the mage, but I'm not sure it was possible. A Molten Copper on the warrior, do 1 wound, then Quicksilver Lash dispelled. and with shooting I'm able to do only a single wound to the Feldrak, who is able to save it, and I lost one slave in the process. And with shooting I was able to do nothing, so that was it. Yeah, I tried to shoot with Titan Mortar onto the Feldrak, but I was unable to hit. And with the ball thrower, it's a bit out of the game here on the left. I wasn't able to do anything significant. I guess I tried a shot on a 6 onto the warrior unit, but yeah, I had a very not a good chance to hit him. His turn 5, the Doomstar is back on the board. I have 2 turns, try to kill him. He move 8 away from the Bastion unit with the Feldrak. Try to avoid me. I wasn't able to really get a good line of sight. I don't know if I could have done better. It was kind of difficult, but maybe I should have been able to be more in a position like angle like this, to be able to look at him if he decides to go away, to be able to charge him. This I should have been able to do, but still, I mean, he could have turned around this unit to threat me, so if I'm here, then with the Bastion unit, he's able to triple charge me, so I'm not sure there was a good solution for me, since I failed to kill him in shooting in the last turn. So yeah, basically his turn 5 comes around the bull to threaten me. If I decide to charge the warrior, he will have counter charge with the Exalted Herald. Try to position himself to counter charge me if I decide to charge the Feldrak. And what else? Yeah, I stay a bit. Yeah, I move just slightly with the Feldrak unit. Try to see me and move 6 forward with the Doomstar, and that's it. In Magic, I try Mark 4 Doom on my Overlord. I dispel it, but with Silver Spike, he was able to cast it despite my magical resistance. And this time, yeah, that's the only time he was able to cast damage on my guy. I failed the ward save and he was able to cause me 3 wounds, which is really scary, because if I charge this guy, I have only 1 wound remaining. And then Quicksilver Lash onto my guy failed. My turn 5. Move forward with the Bastion the best I could. Charged with the tank 8. I needed an 8 on the dice. I was able to connect on the flank. Really happy about this charge. Of course, the bull goes in. I have to try this, especially since his position of the Exalted Herald was not so good, because he wasn't able to see me with this position of the bull. Basically, he has no good counter charge. So if I'm able to kill him with 5, first of all, D3 impact, strength 5 AP2, and then 5 attack on 3+ rerollable and 4+ with no reroll, could possibly kill him. We'll see. And then I have still the 4 attack of the bull, but I need to reroll to wound the successful roll, so not so easy. And I have the Luga dice to reroll 1 attack, so that's the deal. If I'm survive, I would be happy. If I can kill him, I would be more than happy. We'll see what I can do. Problem is, with 3 inch from this, I cannot get a position with the Bastion to claim back this token, which is unfortunate. And here I was able to give battle focus on shooting against on the Bastion with the slave and move a bit back and reposition myself with the mage unit to be able to blast the Doomstar, move forward with this guy. I guess he had a misfire on the last turn, so cannot shoot this turn, so I only have a single ball thrower plus the alchemy, and I move my light cavalry behind out of arc of the Feldrak to be able to shoot at the Doomstar, make them flammable. That was the idea. Magic. Cast a Quicksilver Lash onto the Doomstar, dispelled. Then I cast a Molten Copper, was only able to do 1 wound to the champion. That's it. And then I put +1 ward save onto the bull to help him survive. The Bastion shoot onto the Fallen with Battle Focus. I was able to kill 7 of them. A huge result. And then close combat, I was able to one-shot the Feldrak. Really happy about that. I did nothing on the impact. And then with 5 attack, I caused 4 wounds. So straight. Really happy about that. So token is away and we will draw on the scenario. And here with the tank, I was able to make him flee, but wasn't able to pursue him, to catch him. And yeah, that's it. His turn 6. Wasn't able to rally the warrior, continue to flee, just move around a bit with the mage to cast him and to cast some spell, and move a bit forward with the Doomstar behind the hills, but I will still be able to go onto the hill if I want to blast him. Yeah, last turn I wasn't able to make him flammable, unfortunately, with 4 shot on 5 up, so a bit unfortunate, because I would have liked to have a reroll to wound on the blast for this turn. But still I have 1 turn. He has 4 wounds remaining onto the 4th one, 3 wounds remaining onto the Doomlord. We'll see what I can do. Yeah, then Magic. I try Silver Spike onto my my Overlord. I was able to dispel it, and then he tried Mark for Doom. I was able to do ward save. I rolled a 5, so quite happy the Overlord will be able to survive. And then on my turn 6, move on to the hill, move around just a PSB to be sure that I can give the reroll in case of a miscast, just to make sure. I charge with the tank to push them out of the table. I move forward with the Bastion to shoot at the Fallen or the Doomstar, depending what I need. And that's it. Magic, I cast a Quicksilver Ash onto the Doomstar, dispelled, then Molten Copper did only 1 wound to the champion and 1 wound to the unit, so still 2 wounds remaining onto the first one, and I was able to do nothing onto the Doomlord. And then with the Catapult on 3+, I was able to hit, wound the Doomlord. He wasn't able to save on a 5-up, and then I rolled a 2 for the wounds, so still 1 wound remaining. And with the Bastion, I shot at the first one to finish the unit, try to finish the Overlord, the Doomlord as well, but wasn't able to kill the Doomlord. I was able to pass armor save, but I was able to cause a couple of wounds and kill the first one. So that's at least some good news regarding the Doomstar. I almost took all the points. And yeah, that's the end of the game. So basically it took half of the Overlord, half of the Slave, a gunnery team, a slingshot, and I was able to kill half of the Doomlord, the War unit, to get half of the Fallen, to kill the Warhounds, to kill the Force 1 unit, to kill 1 unit of Eldrock and the Elmo. Nobody took the secondary objective, which makes 15-5 for me. So yeah, post-game analysis, my Magic did a huge job doing this game. Against the Doomstar, I was able to almost kill the entire unit, but I made a small mistake by casting -1 armor save. That was not too smart. I guess the first time I tried to cast it, turn 3 or 2 I guess, was smart because he was still able to come onto combat against Bastion if he wanted to, but then the second time he was still not in a shape to fight me, so I shouldn't have casted this spell. And I should have cast this -1 armor onto the Feldrock unit with the token. That would have been much better for me. The War Machine underperformed slightly, I expected slightly more, but yeah, still you need to wound, and that's not a guarantee that you will do anything. Especially the Bolt Thrower didn't perform that well, but one of them was a bit too far away to do anything. Great game from the Overlord. I was lucky to finish the game alive, but after the Elmo was dead, things went easier for me. I think my opponent should have been able to not allow me going through his unit and threaten the Elmo. He should have been able to cover this angle because I had just a place to be within this position, with my movement. He should have been able to angle a bit more, not to allow me to get into this position. Then he would have been able to have the Elmo alive and to possibly go away with the second token and possibly win the secondary objective and make things a lot harder for me. I think I stayed too long on the left flank with the tank. I should have been able to go forward sooner, like I said during my turn. Yeah, and possibly either threat the Doomstar or go then threat the Feldrock unit with the token. I had a lot of options. I think the tank was too long out of the game. Luckily for me, I was able to connect with the charge and at least kill the warrior, but I should have been able to do more. And of course, his high mobility combined with the Helmo ability made things hard regarding secondary objective. That was not so easy, and I think my estimation of the game was a bit too confident. I put a 14 before the game, but I think on Spoil of War it's rather an 11, something like that, because secondary objective is quite hard to play against, and still with the Helmo and so on, there's a lot of possibilities to avoid fights. So I think my estimation was a bit too positive, but I was able to take advantage of some small mistakes for my opponent. I also did some, and he was able to profit from them. In particular, with the token in the center, I think I made a mistake with allowing him to be able to teleport himself onto the center, get the token without threatening him with any counter charge, so then he was able to get away. Should have been able to do better to avoid him getting this token and therefore possibly get the scenario myself. Okay, that was it for this first round. We lost from a small margin this round. We made a couple of small mistakes in the pairing process. and then some game went bad, so we lost 76 to 84 if I remember correctly. So well done to our friends from QTL, well done guys. And yeah, I will try to keep you informed week after week what happened into this Ocho tournament. It's highly interesting for me because first of all I'm trying a new list, and yeah, it's a very interesting tournament with a good opposition, so really happy to be able to feature into this tournament. Thanks a lot for watching my battle report, and talk to you soon onto my channel. Bye.